In 2001, I sowed a mixture of Cornfield Annuals in a border in my garden. In each of the 8 summers since then, I have been able to enjoy a colourful display of Cornfield Annuals. The flowers are at their best in midsummer, peaking during June and July. By late summer, colour wanes as petals fade and flowers develop into seed heads and swollen pods. These dying annuals, having completed their life cycle, rain seed back to the ground for the following year. Even with the millions of seeds that land on the soil, if I simply left the border to regenerate naturally, within a year I'd find that the ground would be thickly overgrown with invading grasses and perennial weeds. Cornfield annual plots must be managed to regenerate. The first step is to cut back and clear the dying annuals. I find a scythe is ideal for this task. Once cut, I remove and dispose of the straw. In some years, I note that parts of my border have been rather dominated by one particular annual from within the mix. If this is the case, I usually burn the straw and pods from these plants in place, hoping to kill a proportion of the seed both in the straw and lying on the ground beneath. My objective here is to try and prevent the imbalance transferring to following years. After cutting, clearing and possibly burning, I leave the plot to rest for 2 to 3 weeks. This interval gives weeds an opportunity to regrow, thereby exposing themselves for treatment. The second step to regeneration is to deal with any grass and unwanted weeds that have managed to establish a foothold in the border over the past year. I use herbicides to give me thorough control of perennial weeds. The organic alternative would be to dig out perennial weeds by the roots and to cultivate repeatedly to kill other weeds. I do not worry at this stage about killing the first flush of Cornfield Annual seedlings. There will be more than enough seeds left in the soil to emerge again later. The third and final step to regeneration is to work the soil to create a new seedbed. Cornfield Annuals are plants of cultivated ground. To thrive, they do require a freshly prepared seedbed each and every year. I work the soil in my border by digging, hand cultivating, or using a rotavator. Final seedbed preparation is completed by raking to produce a levelled, even surface of medium tilth. The timing of this final cultivation varies with the site and soil type. In my garden, I usually prepare some areas in the autumn and others in the spring. Where I have had a good balanced display of annuals, more than enough seed will have self-sown to ensure a good result again in the following year. There is no need to sow more seed in this circumstance. Making a new seedbed creates an ideal opportunity to add extra seed of either new species or to top up those which perhaps did not seed as well over the past season. Even small additions of seed can make a difference. A half-gram pinch of cornflower seed will be enough to sow 1 to 2 square metres. Sowing such small quantities of seed evenly can be quite tricky, as it is difficult to see where seed lands and to decide whether you are sowing seed too thickly or too thinly. To make this job easier, I mix the pinch of seed with a convenient quantity of sand. This makes it easier to spread and to see where the seed is landing. With these 3 steps, cutting and clearing the vegetation, controlling perennial invading weeds, and cultivating to create a new seedbed, annual sowings may be regenerated year on year.